Senator Goolsby, for what purpose your ayes?
Speak on the amendment.
Senator Goolsby has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Brown, you made a very good point. I believe it was Albert Einstein who said the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing again and again and expect a different result. And I applaud the efforts by the Senate to change the way that we currently do it, because it is definitely not working. But there's a fundamental issue that I think we have to understand in Democrat mythology. And that is that somehow if you keep doing the same thing and you just spend more and more and more and more and more money on it, it'll somehow work. That's what it was like when I got up here, when I was first elected in the last term with the big freshman class. We got up here and the state was several $billion in debt. And the way that that had been answered in the past, when the party in opposition was in power, was in good years to spend all the money and borrow all you could, and in the bad years, spend all the money, borrow all you can, and then raise taxes. Senator Apodaca, I can give you a definition of what a rich man is to a liberal Democrat. That's somebody with a job. What we have to do in our state is not to buy into this mythology. You cannot tax a population into prosperity. You cannot regulate them into riches, and more government will not solve our problem. And there is definitely a difference in our theory on how the world works and the theory of the opposing party, because they believe all those things. And we will continue throughout the rest of this day to continue to hear that. They're going to tax you into prosperity, regulate you into riches, and more government's going to solve the problems. It doesn't work. We've seen the positive changes since we took over, and we will continue to see them as we continue to count on the North Carolina people to be the ones who create jobs, because they get to keep more of their own money, and we can count on the private sector, not the government, to pick up the slack. I oppose the amendment.